Hello, my name is Demo and welcome back to Dexcom2. So this is the second map, aka the marine map, and yeah, I can say it's definitely marine. So what you want to do is you want to grab all the weapons, you want to try not to get stuck there, and then you want to just go up to this yellow key fight. Now, the trick here is you want to keep your distance, but you also don't want to go too close. And the reason is because the pain elementals of the cacodemons will just overwhelm you. So you want to kind of stay in the center here where there's a lot of space, try and move around a bit whilst, cacos and lost souls attack you. And yeah, if it gets too overwhelming, you've got plasma, you can use it. And yeah, well here I got lucky and just, I was able to circle strafe it, but a lot of the time you won't because the cacos, they just take up too much volume. But yeah, what you want to do is kind of just maneuver around until you get to this pigeonhole and then just chill on there. And yeah, by that point the fight should really be won. So it's pretty tricky. It's why you do it first. You have a fight you'll see in a bit. It's not too bad, but you can have quite a bit of trouble with it. I certainly did in the live stream. I probably should have mentioned that, I did beat this live, and it was it was a pretty cool experience. I've never really beaten a map live before. Well, kind of, just not on a stream. I've been at live on call multiple times, but yeah, on stream no. So once you've kind of cleared out this fight, let me just kill that Baron. There we go. Once you cleared out this fight, a couple archfiles sort of spawn in, and what you want to do is you want to just keep your distance and try and keep them in that that exit. And that's pretty easy. Just sort of chill, hide in the corner if you need to. And yeah, that's not too bad. It's just a small ambush to kind of awaken everything, but really it doesn't do much. Anyway, onto this fight. So, this is the red key fight. This is the fight I was talking about earlier. This is, in my opinion, easier than the other ones. You want to let the cyber in fight. Yeah, it's kind of puzzly, but you can also just fire into one of the crowds and you'll probably get away with it too. It's pretty lenient, but the one thing you just can't really do is tank a cyber rocket, because then yeah, you're going to be working with kind of low health on that fight, and it's not very fun, especially when you're overwhelmed with so many enemies. So here, yep, I press one of the switches, or shoot them rather. It's a pretty good way of keeping them in the fight. You also have to press the one that's behind the cyber demon. So all the enemies are dead. Now I'm focusing on that. Use some plasma. And the reason why I use rockets here and not the super shotgun, for those who are pretty experienced at the game, you'll know, but for those who are sort of newer, rockets actually do more damage per second than the super shotgun. So it's better to use them if you've got loads of rockets. If you don't, well then just, stick to SSG ammo, because you'll probably have more of that. Shoot that switch for some reason twice. And yeah, this was a change up of a route, because usually I'd go back in there at the tower, but this time I kind of took a leap of faith, and I landed right in the teleporter, which takes you back to the start. Now, this part, what I do is just, you can grab the blue key, it's completely free, it just spawns in a bunch of enemies, and then now what you want to do is trigger, well, what I call the final fight. It's not really the final fight, but you can cheese the final fight sort of heavily towards the end of this map, so you'll see that in a bit. So what I do here, it's not an amazing strategy, but I just kind of run towards the cyber, kill it, and then, well, try to kill it anyway, and then I do kind of a loop around, kill that sort of turret cyber that's on the platform, go up, kill the archfiles that are there, because they can be really annoying and just snipe you, and use all your cells if you can, try and kill as many of the enemies up there as you can, and you want to quickly go back down, because the cybers sort of that is spawned in earlier can then just overwhelm you and take up all that space, and if you're trapped there, well, yeah, you're kind of cooked. So here, yeah, I just do horseshoe maneuvering, try and encourage some infighting between the Hell Knights, the Revenants, the Cacos, and the Cybers. But I believe not this one, but the next one, so the next maneuver I make, things go quite horribly wrong. Now, I probably should have died in this demo. You'll see. Yep, I take a cyber rocket. I tank it completely, and yeah, I'm forced to kind of do panic strats where I run into this part and grab the megasphere, And yeah, I get completely cornered. Like, all the cybers kind of just start rushing towards me, they're not really infighting. And then this. That is insane. I should have died there. Like, there is no way that I could have made that jump, but it was just like a sort of panic strat in a way. Well, I couldn't really call it a strat, because it wasn't, like, thought out meticulously. It was kind of just made on the spot, but it worked. And, you know, that's that. I don't have to play this map again, in the sense because I've already beat it. So yeah, that's that. I've made the jump. I don't need to make any other statements. So once you do that, yeah, that should have triggered the fight. Don't know how it didn't. But once you do that, you can just kind of circle strafe, BFG, and win the fight. You get loads of cells, so you shouldn't have to worry about ammo. And yeah, by this point, if you don't, like, you know, screw up the cheese, then yeah, the map is pretty much won at this point. So now I trigger the SSG fight because, well, I grab more cells first, then I trigger the SSG fight because usually you want to do that around the start, but I just decided I'd do that towards the end. You have BFG, makes the fight basically a joke. And then here I have trouble with the rockets. Get chased by them quite a bit, and I hide behind this pillar, shoot the switches, and yeah. Now we move on to what should have been the final fight, but the enemies are kind of in your sort of range that you can fire, and auto aim will lock onto them. So yeah, you can just completely cheese this part, and it's kind of upsetting. Usually the final fight is actually really tricky because you have just a ton of archviles and revs there, but like, this isn't the intentional way to do it, obviously, but you know, it's there, so you may as well. On that note, like, the fight, well, I say the fight, the map is pretty much done, so I guess I could just talk about kind of my thoughts and feelings on it. I don't really know how to pass the time, but yeah. So this was the second map, obviously. Again, it was Marine difficulty, and I believe this one was made by JackDBS. I think I'm right, because first one was Hibonki, this one is JackDBS. This map I really like. I like the fights, they're all very they're very kind of puzzly. In fact, this WAD has been very puzzly, and I think a lot of the maps as well have been pretty tough for their difficulty. Like, I'd say that this is, well, I'd say maybe this is mid to high Marine, I can't lie. It could be a bit lower, but I don't really know. There's not really much I can kind of compare it with. It's a pretty unique map in the sense, I quite like it. But yeah, here I'm just gonna rocket the archviles really over and over, try to avoid getting zapped. And yeah, that's it. Well, I say that's it. There's two cybers that appear, but yeah, you can just BFG them on the sides and they can't really hit you because, you know, the chairs block their rockets. So yeah, that's GG's. This was a really fun map though. I enjoyed it a lot. I think I was quite frustrated whilst doing attempts, but you know, you're always going to be, especially if, you know, you die to something really stupid, which I did quite a lot of the time. I also did just play really sloppily, like, oh yeah, I forgot about the secret. Yeah, I wait to do that at the end, because then, you know, I think once you trigger that line def, yeah, that opens up. I don't know how long that opens up for. I don't know when it opens up, it just opens up. But yeah, it was pretty good. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.